This is a show about jewelry, why we wear it, why it matters, how it's made, and what it means. I'm Alex D, and I turn cannabis into gold. I make mind-blowing jewelry in gold, silver, and platinum from cannabis plants here in Canada for stage, screen, for people who want to rock crazy jewelry. I'm the cannabis goldsmith.
I used to dislike Christmas. Well, as a young kid, our family wasn't very well off, wasn't we? Weren't rich by any means, and my parents weren't parents to be lavishing me with gifts, so I didn't get very much usually. The neighbors' kids usually got way more than I did, but I think I was a happy camper. I was kind of happy with what I got for about 10 minutes, and then it went into the box, like as it is with most toys that go to kids. But later on in life, Christmas became just a sad time for me because, you know, there were times in my life I was living on the street, I was couch surfing, I didn't have a home. I was basically homeless for many years, like just couch surfing, and just was lost. I was a lost soul in the 1980s. And it was, Christmas was the worst time because everybody was enjoying themselves except me. I was like homeless and hammered usually back then in the 80s. This was before I gave up drinking in 1989. But the whole idea of Christmas was something to avoid, to medicate yourself through, to get through it without even noticing it. This was my goal. It's like, okay, if I get intoxicated enough, it'll be over before I even know it, and that's that. So that's what I thought about Christmas back in the day. I was a disaster back then. But when I stopped drinking, a whole new fear came into play. It was like, oh my God, Christmas is the worst time because everybody's drinking. That's all they do at Christmas. People drink and eat. And now that I can't drink, what the fuck am I going to do? I was so worried. The first Christmas I was sober in 1989, I was sitting at my friend Monine's in her kitchen and at her kitchen table, and explaining to her how terrified I was that Christmas was impending, and this would be my first sober Christmas, and I had no idea whether I could survive it or not. And I talked to her about it, and I can't even remember what she said to me, but I think it was just the act of talking to somebody about it and just explaining my fears to the person that I was actually afraid that I would relapse or fall back into the alcohol at Christmas because that's all there was back then. I guess now too, it's alcohol soaked, and that's something I don't take part in, and I haven't since 1989. But the first year was really hard. It was more fear of slipping than the reality of slipping. Like, I was so afraid of slipping that I padded my life with I went to double, triple the meetings I had to go to. I talked to all my friends about my fears as I did to Monine at her kitchen table, and I think all that helped and got me through the first year, and then the second and the third and so on. But Christmas for people who are suffering from substance abuse issues or who are in recovery from it in particular, it can be a hairy time of year. There are too many easy outs to drink and or to use your substance, your medicating substance. Like, there are too many easy ways to use it as an excuse. So don't use it as an excuse. Christmas will be over before you know it, and we'll be into the absolute dead of winter, the coldest time of the year, and you're going to need your strength then to get through that. So be gentle this Christmas. Yeah, for me it was like, oh God, it was horrible. Christmas was something to be avoided for most of my life, really. And then when I got sober, my best friend Steven, his mom and dad took me under their wing because my parents weren't even in the country, and at the time I'd burnt my bridges with them, and this was like there was no way I was communicating with them anymore. This is what I thought. So I think my best friend Steven, his mother in particular, Nancy, took me under her wing and invited me to a Christmas dinner. So I had a place to go and have Christmas dinner, which is nice to have on Christmas. But even if you don't have somewhere to go for Christmas dinner, there are Christmas dinners all around, at churches, at community centers. Ask. If you have nowhere to go, ask where you can go for a Christmas dinner. Even if you can't afford it, they're free usually. I know in my area, there's like 4 places where you can go for Christmas dinner and have a good feed for free. So think about that. But back to the early 90s, the late 80s, 1990 probably. I was like, oh God, I was so terrified of relapsing. And my friend Steve's mom, Nancy, saw I was kind of frail and took me under her wing and invited me to their home for Christmas dinner for the first few Christmases of my sobriety. And it was great because I felt part of a family. My best friend was there, so I felt safe. Because when you give up a substance that you've used for your whole fucking adult life, basically, you're raw. You don't know anything. You have to relearn everything. You have to learn how to live, how to survive Christmas, how to go to a dinner party, how to go to a friend's house for dinner. Like I had to learn all that shit over again because I was fully medicated in the past and never really had the experience. So I had to slowly start building experiences sober, and I guess the early Christmas dinners helped me do that. And so that was nice. And also a great feed too, because my friend Steve is a chef, and his mom was a wicked cook as well. So the food was always excellent at Christmas in the early 90s. But as time went on and I got involved in starting a magazine and doing all that, and I guess I took it for granted that I was sober. Or maybe I didn't. I don't know. I didn't take it for granted. I was fucking worried all the time that I would relapse. But the idea is just every day you have to stay clean. You have to stay sober one day at a time. Today, that's it. You don't have to... Christmas is 2 weeks from now. Don't worry about it. Today is all you have to worry about. So that's how I worked my way through it. And with support from friends and family. Now, these days it's different. I'm like sober. I have a roof over my head. I have a little bit of food in the fridge, and I have tools in the workshop that I can use to make stuff with my hands. I have cameras that, as a photographer, that I can use to take video and photography. So, and I'm safe. I'm in a safe country for the most part. I'm in a good community and in a small town, and that's like those early Christmas dinners. It's like a nest. here. A local couple, a little bit older than me, that took me under their wing when I moved here. They're inviting me for Christmas dinner because I don't have family anymore. I'm just a single dude, right? So that's they see that. I guess they want to make sure I have a good Christmas. And I was there at their place last year, and it was actually excellent. I really enjoyed myself. So that's where I'm going this year. And I'm bringing a pie to the dinner. I'm bringing a locally baked pie by Norma. I think I've got the name right, Norma, who lives just down the road, who bakes the best pies I've ever eaten in my life. And she is baking one for the church sale, and I've bought it already. I've pre-bought this pie to bring to the Christmas dinner because it's good. So if you're doing the Christmas stuff, it doesn't have to be the most expensive when you're coming to someone's home. If you're bringing food, it just has to be the finest quality. And whether it's a container of stuffing or some fresh veg that you've sourced somewhere to bring to a Christmas dinner, to make into a Christmas dinner, or a beautiful dessert that you've made, you've put your time and effort into, or sourced or found somewhere. So the Christmas dinner that I'm looking forward to this year, God willing, is will be a nice Christmas dinner and a nice pie for dessert. That's my dinner. A lot of it, I think, is just to get out of yourself at Christmas. And the easy way to do that is to do something for someone else. Like if you got nowhere to go at Christmas, you can help out. You can, serve the free Christmas meal at the church or whatever. Even if you're not a member of the church, ask them if you can help. Ask them if you can participate and do something for somebody over Christmas. Now, me, I rarely did that over the course of my whole life. And then last year, my neighbor said, "Oh, the food bank is looking for help to stuff bags for Christmas, and do you want to help?" So I went last year, and what it was a big hockey, the local hockey arena, hockey rink, and there were tables in the middle of the room, and there were paper bags on the tables with names of families and family members. Like it would be like single mom, 3 kids, single mom, 5 kids, and then you would drive a shopping cart around these tables and then fill the bags with different types of food from these huge piles that people had donated. And this way we could divide up all the food bank, all the food so that the right families got the right amount of food on Christmas. And the two things that this experience did a lot for me, because one, it got me into a hockey arena to see that even though I was only in a small town here, in an area with, I guess, 7,000 people-ish, there are plenty of people who need help here. And the number of bags on the tables and the number of single parents with lots of kids and stuff, it was shocking, actually, to me. A wake-up, you hate this word, wake-up call. No, it was shocking. So I learned to appreciate that there are people around here who are in need. So anyway, I helped do that, stuff the bags, and it took there were lots of people helping out, and it's nice to help with other people helping too. So many hands make light work, and you're working together towards a goal, and it's the betterment of your community. So it does all these great things for you as a person, but also for your community too. So in your own community at Christmas time, you can find a place like this. Just ask around. Help will be needed, and you can go in and dish food out to homeless people, or do stuff bags like I'm hoping to do again this year. Do something outside yourself. And I know I've been guilty of not doing that for many years, but last year I did, and this year I'm going to do it again. And if I'm fit and able, when the bag stuffing project happens in 10 days, I think it's happening, I'm going to be there. I'll be there with bells on to help stuff bags. So do something for someone else, Here, now our Christmas is ruined because the post office has been shut for 5 weeks. Our Canada Post is no longer around. The packages aren't even coming into Canada anymore. They're being stopped at the border because just huge. I can imagine the huge piles of Christmas packages at the Canada Post sorting facilities. They're right up to the ceiling. They're not getting moved, so there's nowhere to put new packages. So Canada's not even letting mail into the country anymore. Can you imagine this? This is what our country has become under this prime minister we have. Now, they're all going on leave next week on Wednesday, I believe, or Thursday. They're shutting down Parliament for Christmas holidays. They must get Canada Post back before they go. This is something they have to do. Otherwise, I'm not sure the post office will come back at all after. Small businesses in Canada need a post office, a working, functional post office. We need it. Every first world country has a post office. We need that. Get the post office working. Get it up. Get it running. You've ruined our Christmas already, government, for exports, for sales. So now let's get this thing fixed before you go away on holiday. All right? I have no confidence that you're going to be able to do it, but this is what I want. And this is what Canada wants. We want a post office that works. We want a post office that works. So we can sell our products into the United States. Now, with me, 25% tariffs are going on our products. So I wanted to get our lower priced, our dabbers, for example, I wanted to sell them all into the United States before January 20th. But because of the price point on the product is quite low, it would cost me like 50% of the cost to courier the thing to the United States. So I can't do that. I have to wait till the post office comes back in order to offer these for sale into the United States. Now, the problem is with that is that after January 20th, there's going to be a 25% tariff on top of these products. So they'll make them less attractive to buy in the United States. So right now, in order for me to run an ad campaign, I can run social media ad campaigns to boost awareness of these products in the United States and the upcoming 20% or 25% tariff additional costs that the Americans are going to have to pay to their government as a tax on our products. But I can communicate that quickly, but there's no way to get the products to the market because we have no post office. So I hope the government can. My Christmas, what I want for Christmas this year is the post office back. I want it now back. Back yesterday. That's when I want it back. But obviously our government's just a no. They're flailing. They're fucked. I just can't wait till they're gone so that we can move ahead and we just need to move away from the past and get into the future with this governance of our country. And especially now with this lunatic across the border down south, we need people. We need to be ready, and we need to be ready to deal. We need a working post office. We need good, strong military. We need to eliminate the corruption in the provincial government here in Ontario. It's rife with the corruption. But anyway, this is not the political podcast. Art, what am I doing? Well, as luck would have it, I was thinking about, what am I going to get myself for Christmas this year? Because nobody's going to get me anything. So I thought, I'm going to get myself something really nice for Christmas this year. So what did I get? Well, I haven't got anything yet, but I was looking at, okay, I have a design that I'm working on for a hockey themed products. So I've got hockey card pendants, hockey card charm bracelets, like charm bracelets with hockey cards on them in sterling silver. And in order to get the hockey cards in sterling silver, I'll be cutting them out of a sheet of silver. Now, the best way to do this is to get a die stamp and stamp them out of the sheet of silver. This way, you get a nice uniform square. Think of a dog tag, right? You have a sheet of silver, 1 millimeter thick. You want to cut a dog tag out of it. How do you do that? Well, you can saw it, and it takes forever. And each one will be, my sawing skills aren't the best, but even if you were a master with a jewelry saw, each one would still be a little different. So that's not the right way to do this. The right way to cut squares out of a sheet of silver is to use a die. So it's a 2-piece metal thing that you put the silver in the middle and you hit it with a hammer and it cuts out like a cookie cutter. It'll cut out a shape out of the silver, a nice, clean, repetitive shape. So I'd found this die that in a nice rounded square shape of the appropriate size that I could use to cut out these little mini hockey cards out of this sheet of sterling silver that I would engrave after with hockey card graphics on them. That was the plan, right? So this was what I was going to get for Christmas for myself, a nice die, so that I could cut squares out of sheet silver, like even 1.5 millimeter sheet silver, nice thick pendant. So I could do hockey cards, I could do tarot cards, I can do little small images, like little pictures and stuff with our industrial laser here on the sheet silver, cut into squares. But as luck would have it, my phone died, and exactly 4 years to the date of buying it, it died. For some reason, the battery wouldn't work anymore. So I'm under the impression now that it was just switched off by the manufacturer after 4 years. They just decided, no, we don't want them to use the phone anymore. So boop, we'll just disable it remotely, or we'll make the battery life so which is what happened. The battery it wouldn't even last fucking 10 minutes. Whereas yesterday it would last, well over a day battery life. Today it was just 10 minutes. No new apps added, no new nothing. It just started sucking battery like for no reason. So my feeling is that it was switched. These device manufacturers, they just switch off the devices when the warranty period's off or something. So they just like turn it off. They don't support it anymore at the end. So I had to buy a new phone, and that was like, fuck. That takes my my discretionary Santa budget out the window totally. I've spent the money I was going to get the die cutting thing on a replacement phone. So that sucks. And anyway, there's no way to get these to the United States. So until the strike is over, or Europe even, we're fucked. We're isolated now until the mail strike is over, so that even couriers can work, because the courier's not even working really well now because of the mail's so gummed up. Man. Anyway, I hope this show wasn't too depressing, like this Christmas show. We had everything in it. We had alcoholism, drug addiction, broken phones, and yeah, Jesus, like all this shit that happens at Christmas. But you know what? I'm here. I'm recording. I'm speaking to you. And I'm getting ready for next year. I've got big things are going on next year. I start digitizing the Tribe magazine photography collection in January. And that's going to be an adventure. And also working on some new designs, like for next year, this tarot card charm bracelet, for example, and hockey card pendants, and charm bracelets. All kinds of like non-cannabis-y products are in the offing for next year. And I'm also thinking of doing some small little ghetto blasters and stuff or boom boxes, to be more politically correct, in the sheet silver. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, this to close out the show today, my friend John B, he's an amazing DJ in the UK, John Beda. He just dropped a Christmas track, and I know you're thinking, oh, Christmas tracks, but this is about Bruce Willis. And I know Bruce is out there, and Bruce is having a hard time of it health-wise the last few years. So sending Christmas wishes to Bruce Willis, and I'm getting ready to watch Die Hard again because, of course, it is the best Christmas movie. And John B's track here is all about that. See the video. I'll put a link for the video in the show notes because the video is really good too. Anyway, have a good Christmas. Thanks for listening to my show over the course of the last almost 100 episodes. My God. I'm deciding where to take the second season next year when we get into the past 100 episodes. I don't know yet. We'll see where it'll go. Probably some interviews and some stuff with jewelers around the world. Hoping to get to Europe next year to talk to some jewelers in London and in Paris about design. Maybe some fashion people too while I'm there, because I like that as well. But anyway, here we go. John B. What could be better than a Die Hard Christmas?
Yippie-ki-yay, it's a Christmas day. Hands Gruber's falling, hey, hey, hey. Nakatomi Plaza, yeah, yeah, yeah. The best Christmas movie ever is always Die Hard. I love you, Bruce Willis. It's not how this Christmas. I love you, Bruce Willis. It's not how this Christmas.
Thanks for the advice.
The snow is falling, the lights are bright, but I just wanna watch you die tonight. The best movies on and we're feeling gnarly at the Nakatomi Plaza Christmas party. Bruce wearing a vest, he's shooting terrorists, he's crawling in a vent, and I'm opening a lot for Christmas presents. Bruce wearing a vest, he's shooting terrorists, he's crawling in a vent, and I'm opening a lot for Christmas presents. When you hear the bells on Christmas morning, smile and watch hands through the falling. Yippee-ki-yay, it's a Christmas day. Hands Gruber's falling, hey, hey, hey. The best movies on and we're feeling gnarly at the Nakatomi Plaza.
The Cannabis Goldsmith is produced by Tribe Communications, Inc. in the Thousand Islands area of Ontario, Canada. You can see what we do at tribe.ca. Send us an email, alexd@cannabisgoldsmith.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week on the Cannabis Goldsmith.